disinfectant after every client. These are things you need to be thinking about now, because as you're rescheduling your clients, you may need to build in a little extra time. You know, I was thinking about something with the styling area, needing a new cape. When I have gone places and actually gotten a pedicure, nothing brings my heart more peace as to when they bring out the implements and they take them from that package, and the package is opened right there in front of me. And I thought a lot about this, and I thought, you know, maybe that's something that we need to do for a while. Maybe that after you get done with the capes, or at the end of the day, you actually are taking a cape and you're folding it up and you're putting a cape, a comb, a neck strip, and maybe even a brush in a plastic baggie, right? A big gallon-sized baggie, and you have those stacked up on your station. So when that salon guest comes in and they sit in your chair, they watch you open up that baggie and remove a fresh cape, a fresh comb, a fresh neck strip, and a fresh brush. What kind of peace would that give your salon guest? And if you were a salon guest, how would that make you feel if you knew that you just didn't go and grab that cape out of the dryer? You may tell me that it was washed and dried, but for all I know, you could have just thrown it in the dryer and moved forward. So again, these are all things that we need to ensure that we need to talk about. We need to come up with a strategy so that we're providing safe services for our salon guests, but our salon guests are feeling safe while they're receiving services in our salons. So the processing areas, you know, when you're talking about eliminating touches, you're going to need to wipe down the dryers and the processing machines after every use, wipe down the chairs in this area. But let's think about this. Let's think about books and magazines. Right? Every processing area that I know that I've ever been in, there's always been all kinds of magazines and all kinds of style books so that you can go through. Those may need to be put away for right now, because if one person is touching it and then they're laying it down and then somebody else is touching it, what we're trying to do right now going forward, at least for a short period of time, is to eliminate touches, right? So let's think about the reception area. So I'll share a story with you. So last week, my mom had to go to a doctor's appointment, and I don't like for her, she's a widow, and I don't like for her to go to the doctor by herself. So I said, Mom, I'm going to go with you. And so as I went into this doctor's and we got into this waiting room, it was really interesting. Every other chair was faced forward, right? And the chair that wasn't facing forward was faced backwards towards the wall so that you couldn't sit in it. So they were instilling the 6 feet of social distance. On the chairs that were turned backwards, there was a note on it that said, do not sit here. They made it very clear that they didn't want you to sit there and that you needed to practice social distancing. But also, I noticed that there were no magazines on the table. There were racks that were there that used to hold magazines. Those were all gone. There were no pamphlets out. You know, a lot of times they'll have pamphlets out. She was at the heart doctor, so you might find about a new medication or heart disease or something along those lines. All of those pamphlets were gone. They were all taken out. And so I'm thinking, and then she got a second doctor's appointment about another issue last week. And so we went to another doctor's office, and it was the same exact thing. Signs on the chairs that said, do not sit, no magazines out, no pamphlets out, no nothing. It was just they did it across the board to keep it as safe as possible. But what I looked at was they eliminated touches. And that's what I feel that you're going to need to do going forward, is that you need to eliminate touches. So how are you going to space your chairs out? What are you going to do with your books and magazines? If you've got a coffee and water area in your salon, how are you going to address that? Are you going to use disposable cups? Are you going to use small bottles of water that they just take and then take with them? Are you going to wipe down a water dispenser after every use? What does that look like? Let's talk about your retail area. So how many times does a person walk into your salon and go to the retail area and they pick up a bottle and they pull the top off and they take a whiff of what the scent smells like, and then they put the top back on the bottle, and they place it back on the shelf? If you've got 10 people that do that in one day, if you have a very large salon, then all of the people that they've come in contact with have come in contact with that one bottle as well. So how are you going to address that? Do you need to put your retail behind the desk? Do you need to come up with, I came up with an idea of a retail concierge where there's just one person that's there that walks around and they offer to help you with your retail, which would increase the experience of your salon. But then you have one person that's touching the bottles in your salon. So then if they wanted something, they can take the top off. They can offer to let the salon guest smell the product, put the top back on, and then it's either she can wipe it down, or they can wipe it down and return it to the shelf. Or if they chose to purchase that product, it can be walked right up to the front desk. Your shampoo area, what does that look like? Wiping down the shampoo bowls, disinfecting after each use. But I'm even thinking about your shampoo bottles and your conditioner bottles. Those all have to be wiped down. Then you're going to have miscellaneous areas, bathrooms, door handles. What about your brooms? Styling products on the stations. It needs to be the same thing. You can't be dipping your finger into a putty or a wax and then dispensing it and doing it time after time. You need to come up with a game plan and a strategy to be able to do that. So these are the things I want you to be thinking about as we move forward and you come closer to the time of reopening your salon, because things are going to be a little bit different. Now, remember, it's not going to be like this forever, but to ensure safety and to ensure that we can all move forward as a profession, these things need to be taken into account. So come up with a reopening strategy. Make sure that you get your team on board. So come up with a strategy that you can relay to your team. And then communicate. Find a way to communicate to your salon guests that they are safe, because that's what they want to know. Now, in the show notes, you'll find a checklist. So I know that this can be overwhelming, and when you're thinking about things, there's a saying that says you can't read the label from inside the jar. So when you're in the midst of this, sometimes you can get overwhelmed. So I created a checklist. I created a checklist to help you navigate through your salon to ensure that you are addressing every single area of your salon. And I'm going to put that in the notes of this particular show. So get on that, download that, take that with you. So as you walk through your salon, whether physically or virtually or in your head, that you can make sure that you're checking off and you know how to address every area. I've also created a strategy sheet that will help you map out the changes that you want to make prior to opening your salon. So it gives you the area of the salon and then a blank space so that you can write down how you're going to eliminate touches, how you're going to make the changes, so that way then it's not all jumbled in your head. And then going forward, if you're not the one to execute it, you can give that to somebody else to execute, to make sure that you are taking all the safety measures and all the safety precautions that you can, while we're all in this battle together. So I want to let you know that I've created an online course that dives deeper into this process. It walks you through each phase of your salon to help you eliminate touches and shares ways to ensure the safety that it's being practiced on a regular basis in your salon. The online class will take about 30 minutes to complete. There's a short quiz afterwards, and then you'll receive a certificate of completion that you can display in your salon to ensure your guests that you are committed to their safety. So to find out more about this online course, make sure that you visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. If there's anything else that I can answer for you, or anything else that you can think of, or anything else, any other questions that you may have, I want to encourage you to reach out to me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org. Or if you want more information about Hello Gorgeous, or you want to know more about the program that we offer, I want you to invite you to visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. Hey, if this account or this episode was helpful to you, I want to invite you to leave a comment, share this with your friends. We truly are all in this together. This is something that we are all experiencing together. We're all going to come out of this together. And you know what? We're strong as a nation. So I have no doubt that we're going to come out better on the other side than we were when we went into this. So I just want to say thank you again for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker. And until next time, stay gorgeous.